if we are going to fulfill our potential, if we are going to break barriers, exceed our limits, we must remember three things. Number one, there will always be haters. Underline that word, always. There will always be haters. There will always be people that want to say you are not tall enough, or you are probably too tall, you are not muscular enough, or probably you are too muscular. Why do you talk like that? Why do you talk with a funny accent? You are not old enough, or probably you are too old. Always somebody that wants to give their own opinion of you. While running the 2020 edition of the Lagos City Marathon, we will come across this cluster of people that will look at us and will laugh. It wasn't like there weren't people who would see us and clap and cheer us on and give us the thumbs up, but we'll also come across this group of people who will see us at various kilometer marks, who will see us and will laugh heartily, laugh mockingly, and say things like, see that one, look at him, look at the way he's running. Why is he smiling like that? Look at his running shoes are so ridiculous, no wonder he can't run. And you know, other people will say things like, these Nigerians, why do they even bother anyway? The Kenyans will always win. You know, on the one hand, someone will say that, why would you allow anything anyone says to get to you? But on the other hand, the fact that those words are wanting to get to you, for me, is proof that what you are doing really matters to you. For a very long time, I would watch football matches on TV, and one thing that I used to wonder is, why do these players, you know, these football players, they are professionals, why do they always have to allow statements that an opposing player or that a fan, you know, says to get to them? After all, they know that if they misbehave or if they lose their cool, they are going to face the music. It's either they are going to get match bans or heavy fines. So why can't they just play it cool, you know, just ignore what that opposing player is saying or what that ridiculous fan is saying to them and not just allow it to get to them? Until I started reading biographies of some of those players, biographies of people like Didier Drogba, James Milner, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and that was when I began to see things from their point of view. That being there physically present as the game is going on, the crowd is chanting, coaches are dishing out, shouting instructions, the whole atmosphere is tensed, you are giving all the energy, everything you've got, you know, to win. It can be a very, very emotional experience that when somebody says something to you that is hurtful, you would have even reacted before you even know what's going on. If you didn't care about what you are doing, if what you are doing didn't matter to you, you wouldn't care about what anybody is saying. But it's because you do care, you want to try, you want to dare, and not just dare, but you want to give it everything you have got. Now, having said that, one thing that high performers understand is that yes, they give it everything they've got, but to be able to take their game to a whole new level, to be able to break barriers, to be able to exceed their limits, to be able to fulfill their potential, they must be able to get to that point where they can turn criticism into fuel, into the fuel needed to move their game to a whole new level. If you are getting criticized, it means that you are probably doing something significant and doing something great. The society is not bothered with anybody that is not doing anything great or significant, because that person, as far as they are concerned, is in the same comfort zone, in the same safe space as them. So they are not bothered about such people. But when somebody steps out and decides to do something and decides to dare and decides to reach, that's when everybody wants to start talking. And so they understand, they are able to turn criticism into fuel because they understand the truth in these three statements. Number one, love your haters because they are your biggest fans. Number two, don't care about what people think because people do not think in the first place. And then number three, criticism can bother you, but you should be more bothered when there's no criticism because it actually means you are being too safe. The wisdom they get from these three statements is what enables them, you know, to level up with criticism, to use criticism as leverage, to use criticism as a platform to launch them higher and not as something to stop them. To use criticism as something that spurs them on, something that stirs them to take their game to a whole new level. And that's just one thing I've discovered, that if we must live a life of no excuses, if we are going to fulfill our potential, if we are going to break barriers, exceed our limits, we must remember three things. Number one, there will always be haters. Underline that word, always. There will always be haters. There will always be people that want to say you are not tall enough, or you are probably too tall. You are not muscular enough, or probably you are too muscular. Why do you talk like that? Why do you talk with a funny accent? You are not old enough, or probably you are too old. Always somebody that wants to give their own opinion of you. But it's about turning that thing into fuel. People who are not doing anything great or significant with their lives must look for work to do. And since they don't have anything significant they are doing, they must give themselves the job of criticizing other people who are doing something significant and doing something great. So the best thing we can do is, to anticipate them, that they are always going to be there. And when we anticipate them, we are no longer afraid of them. We are not afraid of them or afraid of anything they can say to us. Instead, we use that as the litmus test that probably we are doing something right here. The fact that these people are talking is proof that I'm probably doing something right here. I'm probably getting something right. The second thing is for us to remember, don't engage them, don't excuse them, don't explain anything to the haters, because they are just there as a distraction. That's just what they are. They are just there to distract you from what you are doing. They are just there to distract you from the great work that you are putting out there. Your motto should be Operation Face Your Front, Operation Face Your Work, Operation Do That Thing that you are about, and just forget anything that anybody is saying or anything is doing. I like the way Brendan Burchard puts it. He says, don't engage, demonstrate. Don't engage with them, just demonstrate your thing, do your thing. Don't engage with them, engage yourself. I remember that was several years ago. I was listening to Murdock, and he shared this story of how somebody wrote him a letter one time, and in that letter the person just criticized him in a very unfair manner. And after reading the letter, he brought out his pen and paper and was thinking of the reply he was going to give to this person, and was trying to compose the reply in his head. You know how you are trying to compose a reply? You are upset, you are angry, you want to let this person know that they are a fool and that they can go to hell, but you want to say it in not so many words and without being vulgar or saying anything derogatory. And it was after 30 minutes of trying to compose this reply that he caught himself and said, "Come on, Mike, when last did you spend 30 minutes trying to compose a letter to send to your mother?" And that was what he saw that letter for, what it really was, that this letter is just simply a distraction. To distract you from the great work you are putting out there, to distract you from the things that really matter, which is your work and your family and the people that know you and that truly get you for who you are. And which leads me to the third point: don't forget who you are. Remember who you are. Nobody knows your heart, nobody knows your art, nobody knows what you are trying to achieve apart from you. Your task in life is not to be popular with everyone, it's not to be popular, it's not to please everyone, because here's the thing: popularity contests are not truth contests. Your task in life is to stay true to your person, to stay true to your heart, to stay true to your art, and to stay true to that thing that you are trying to achieve. On this journey of no excuses, on this journey of becoming the very best version of ourselves, there are always going to be haters, but we keep going because they don't matter.